Hello, Odooers, and welcome to this point of sale tutorial. Businesses often reach a stage where handling different types of orders becomes a necessity. If you run a restaurant, you might want to handle takeout and delivery orders in addition to dine-in. Take Belgium, for example. Juggling from a takeout order to a delivery implies adjusting the tax rates. This is when presets come into play. So thanks to Odoo Point of Sale, you can easily create, edit, and use presets to handle all these different scenarios. Today, we'll start by showcasing the preset configuration form, followed by a demonstration. So if you're ready, we'll go ahead and dive right into it. So the good news is that if your point of sale is set up as a restaurant, the presets are pre-configured and ready to use. Let me show you. So we'll go into point of sale, configuration and settings. And under the point of sale section here, you will find the automatically enabled takeout delivery members setting, which includes the available presets for dine-in, takeout, and delivery orders. So dine-in is selected by default, as naturally you would kind of expect your guests to eat on site at your restaurant, but you can of course adapt the default preset to suit your preferences. It could be something else here. Now, let's take a look at the configuration of our takeout preset. So I will click here on configure presets, and I will go into takeout. So I can immediately select some of my options here, and you can, I could choose a price list if I wanted to. I don't want to do this right now, but more importantly, I will select a fiscal position from the dropdown here. This is something that is particularly useful in some countries, for example, here in Belgium, as it allows you to adapt your tax rates depending on the order type. So I will go ahead and choose takeout here from the list. And then another thing that is important for my takeout preset is the identification field here, as it lets you associate a customer with your order. So here it is set to name, as I would like to know my customer's name at the pickup zone. It's the easiest way to identify which order should go to which customer. So I will say leave it as it is. And then I have another option here, the manage orders by time. This is the option that lets me determine how many orders can be prepared within a given time frame. So I will enable it, and this will make the schedule tab show up here, as it is linked to my restaurant's schedule, of course. So here, if I click on schedule, you will see that by default, this has been this is displayed as my restaurant opening time, which is great. But of course, I could have a little bit of a different schedule and configure that if I wanted to. I will leave it as is. And then the other option that became available for me to fill in is the preparation capacity. So by default, this is set to 5 orders per 20 minutes. But because I have a sense that my kitchen team is feeling very energetic today, I will actually increase their preparation capacity to 7 orders for every 20 minutes. And if we move on to the other tab here, the self-ordering tab, I will also have some options here to determine, for example, the available in self. Now, this makes the preset available on self-ordering devices, such as kiosks or mobile devices. Now, this was enabled by default, and I will keep it as it is. Here, I can also specify where the order should be served, which in this case is a pickup zone, but it could also be served at the table or in delivery, of course. We'll leave it on pickup zone. And the last thing that I could choose here is sending a confirmation email when a takeout order is processed. So this is configured here, and that's great. Now I have one more tab right here, which is the options tab. And here I have a guest checkbox, which allows me to add the number of guests when placing a dine-in order. Now, this is not something that concerns me for my takeout order. I don't need to know how many guests are going to enjoy the pizza that they're ordered, for example. So I will leave this unselected. And then finally, one more thing, considering all of our presets actually, is the return mode option here. This is something that restricts the preset to processing returns only. Now, I will leave this unticked because this is something that would turn all of my prices negative, which is why if I wanted to use it, I would actually create a separate preset just for this. But also, it's something that's more useful for environments like a restaurant, a shop. rather than a restaurant, because in a shop, I'm much more likely to process more returns than in a restaurant. Perfect. So my preset is all configured. I will save it here, and let's go ahead and take it for a spin. All right, so now that we have seen the preset configuration form, let's go ahead and put everything into practice. So we're going to go to our dashboard and we're going to open or continue selling in our restaurant. And what I'm going to do is process a direct sales order. So I don't need a table here. I'll just click on new order. And you can see the default preset at the bottom of my register is set to dine in right here. But let's imagine something else. Let's say that a customer calls and would like to place an order for, let's say, a pasta bolognese and a soda. So I will select the products. I added them to my cart. And then I will just click on the preset button right here and I will switch to takeout. Let's add my customer's name. Let's say that Samwise is calling. And I will go ahead and click apply. And the next thing that I have to do is choose a time slot for when they will come and pick up their order. So let's choose from here and we'll say 12:40. Perfect. And then you will notice that the tax rate here has actually been automatically applied as soon as we switched from dine-in to takeout. So that's great. And I will go ahead and hit send. And voila, my order is sent to the kitchen and the customer can come and collect it whenever it's ready. Now, let's say that we receive a delivery request for something else. So I will go ahead and hit another new order. And we will choose 2 club sandwiches here and 2 milkshakes. And again, I have this by default set to dine in, but I will choose the delivery preset this time. And as you can see, now I'm asked for something else. I'm asked to create or choose a customer from the list because the identification for the delivery preset is actually based on the customer's address, which makes sense, right? So I will choose Patrice here from the list. And I'll go ahead and send my order to the kitchen. Again, easy. So remember that once you have your presets going, you might also want to edit them at some point or create some additional ones as needed. So in order to do that, I would just go to my backend and then I could click on configuration and find my presets very easily here. I could create a new one or edit any of the existing pre-configured ones, just like we did before. All right, so that's it for using presets in Odoo. I hope this was helpful for you. And leave any questions that you might have in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one.